Hello, this is Jazz from Spa Speakers. This is another tutorial video for the incoming committee. It's specifically for the Vice President of Membership, who will most likely be responsible for managing and looking after and keeping up to date our website, which is spaspeakers.co.uk. In this video, I'm going to give you a bit of a guided tour around how to access the administration section of the website, how to do some basic tasks which are really important to do on a regular basis, and also kind of familiarize you with the layout and some of the areas that you will need to give attention to. I'm not going to go into too much detail into all of those sections because the video will become very, very long. So I'll just signpost you to the kinds of things that you need to be thinking about, and then in the future you may wish to kind of figure out how to specifically take action with regards to these things that I'm signposting you to. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, so this is it, this is the spaspeakers.co.uk website. And you as a member, you as a committee member, probably visited this website at some stage, and as a result decided to book a visit. And the way that you probably did that is that you clicked on this button here which said book your free visit, and that will then take you to this page here. Why not drop into one of our meetings? And you'll see there's an inquiry form here. You've got your name, you put the name, address, and you hit send. When you send that email, when anybody fills up this inquiry form and sends it, it goes to membership@spaspeakers.co.uk, which the Vice President of Membership is responsible for monitoring and responding to those queries, inviting that individual to come to our next guest meeting, and hopefully introduce them to the club so they become members. Okay, so that's the basic website. In order to enter into the administration section of the website, so you can actually make changes to it, the URL that you need to enter is spaspeakers.co.uk/wp-admin/. Bit of a handful, bit of a mouthful, but you'll get the hang of it because you'll be using this website quite a lot. So then to log in, you can see the password's already saved in my computer. I'm just going to enter this captcha, which is there for security purposes. I'm going to click login. And lo and behold, we are in the administrative dashboard of the website. So it all probably looks quite overwhelming at this stage. So what I'm going to do is kind of really prioritize what I'm going to go through in this video. First of all, I'm going to show you how I post a new blog. So this section here, if I hover over it where it says posts, what I'm going to do, obviously you can go to add a new and you will start a new blog, but what I'm going to do to start with is go to all posts. Because when you go to all posts, it will take you to the library of all the blog posts that we've ever published in the past. You can see here a catalogue of all these posts that we've written previously. If we want to publish a new post, click on this button at the very top here, add new. And how you do this is you add, so I'm going to say this, so I'm going to add a title for my post. This is a new blog. And I'm going to write my post, blah, blah, blah. And what I'm going to do is that's going to be my heading. So I'm going to make that a heading 3. Then I'm going to have text, which I'm going to have as a paragraph. So you can see here that I can either set something to be a header or just basic paragraph text. Blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to set another heading. Blah, blah, 2. And then I'll write some more text. So as you see, once you hit enter, it will switch directly from header back to paragraph, or you can manually change it to paragraph. Okay, and so on and so forth. And if you want to add an image, let's say for example, I want to just add an image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, okay, here, and you'll see what I'm doing just in a moment. I've clicked in just before the first bit of text I've written here. Hit Add Media. I'm just going to find some random image from our catalogue post. I'll pick this one here just because it's the first image. And you'll see here that we've got this big catalogue of images that have already been pre-loaded into the website. If I select, I get a tick here to say yes, this is an image that you want to include. There's a title and there's a caption which has been pre-written. If there isn't a caption or you're not happy with the caption for the purposes of the website, for the blog post that you're writing, then edit this. So let's say, okay, let's call this, I'm going to call it The Gang, just changing it for the sake of changing it. Scroll down, and you'll see here I've got some options in terms of how I want to align it. Center, link none, so you want it to be set as link none for the most part, and you can either have it as full size, medium, or thumbnail. So I'll go through these options very, very quickly. I'm going to insert it as full size and show you that this is not necessarily the best option for you. So here we go. I've inserted this image here, and you can see it's taken up all the space here, and it's located at the very top of the blog post. You see, I set the image to be located here by sticking the cursor here, and there it is. And there's the rest of the text I've written. So how will that look to a user? You can click Preview. And this is how it looks. We've got this wonderful image here, and the caption, which you can edit if you so wish to, and the text that I've written. So how do I edit the caption? What I can do is just left click the image, and this box will appear, and it can allow you to change the alignment or edit. And then you'll see there's a caption here. So I'll edit the caption and say new caption just for the sake of argument. Update it, now you can see there's a new caption. Great. Now maybe this image is too big and I actually want it not to be centered but to be right justified, so the text appears on the left hand side and the image is on the right hand side. So I can use these options here. So let me right justify it. Now that obviously hasn't made a huge amount of difference because the image is so big the text can't be inserted in. So what I'm going to do is click on edit, and you can see because the image is full size it's just taken up all the room. So what I'm going to do is going to convert it to medium, a lot smaller now, and if I hit update, oh there you go, it's now right justified and the text now appears on the left hand side. So that's the basic way in which you would write and insert images. You can also insert other media. So if I add media, you can see there are, for example, there's an MP4 file, which is a video, and there's also PDFs and Word documents that can also be inserted. But that's a little bit more involved, and I won't go into that too much. Before you publish, and you can see there's a publish button here, so if you hit publish, it will then become available for all members to see. But not just that, when you hit publish, because of the way the website has been set up, a copy of this blog article will go to all of our MailChimp newsletter subscribers immediately. Okay? So if you're updating and writing this blog post in the middle of the night, I would recommend not hitting publish, because you don't want your article to be received at an ungodly hour, because the likelihood of it getting read will be reduced. What I would recommend you do to ensure that the article gets sent to our newsletter subscribers' inboxes in a timely fashion is that in this section where it says publish immediately, click edit, and then set a date and a time where when you would like the blog article to end up in people's inboxes, and also available live on the website too. So I'll set that as being, I don't know, 5th, just for argument's sake, at 12 o'clock, hit OK, And you can see now that this option that previously said publish now is an option that says schedule. If I hit schedule, then it will be scheduled, and I'll just show you that. So it's scheduled for May 5th, he says. And now, if I continue to update, now let's say for example at a later point, I've scheduled it, but what if I decide, oh, I've made a spelling mistake, or I don't like the image, I'd like to change things around? What you can do is update it and click update to update the page before it publishes. Now if you decide you want to cancel the scheduling because, oh, actually the date that I set was wrong, go back into edit and just change the date and the time. Or what you can do is hit cancel. Oh, no, you can't. Hit cancel. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Where it says scheduled edit, if you want to unschedule the post, click here and then just go to draft again. Hit OK. And then update. So you must hit update for that setting to be saved. And you'll see now that this button here reverts back to schedule, which means that now I'm going to have to reschedule it for it to post in the future. So that's a really important functionality because of how blog posts that you write end up in people's inboxes. Okay. Probably what I should have covered before I went into that whole scheduling and publishing thing was you want to set the category of the post. Is it club business? Is it area? Is it an area event? Is it a competition? Is it a division event? You know, so there's a whole host of different categories. And what I would recommend you do, rather than inventing a new category every time you think, oh well, it doesn't quite fit, I would try my best to shoehorn whatever article you've written into one of these pre-existing categories. Because if you've got this whole family of categories, it actually makes organization of the website much more unwieldy. Now there might be occasions where in fact an article that you've written absolutely fits not even an iota with the existing categories. So I think it's in those exceptional cases I would consider adding a new category and setting it as such. Also, it's worth noting that you can actually have multiple categories, but what will happen is that one category will be set as primary. If you don't like or don't agree with what's primary, or you want to change that, you can just change the primary category of the article. And so why that's important is that if a user is looking for a particular kind of blog article, let's say they're looking for all articles which relate to competition, they can then use the search engine in the website, and I'll just show you where that is. So if I click on blog, and you'll see here there's something that says looking for something, and I can actually type in competition. And based on the category and the content of the article, all articles which are based around competition will then be found, and as a result you can easily kind of sort through the catalogue of blog articles to find the one that you need. So setting the category is important. Also very important is the tag, and you may want to replicate the category as a tag for search engine purposes, both for members searching internally within WordPress, so using this function here, I want to find something, so the tag will help to point the user to blog articles and pages which are related to that tag. But also it will help in terms of making it searchable to the wider audience. So let's say, for example, somebody on the in another part of the country is interested in how to run a Toastmasters competition. If the tags are set in such fashion as to indicate that it's about competitions and Toastmasters, then it increases the chances of somebody finding our website, and it may potentially result in somebody paying, giving us a web hit, increasing our presence online, and that's all very beneficial in terms of driving traffic, because the more people visit and the more people like what we do and the longer people stay on our website, the more Google will rank our website higher. So that's an element of the search engine optimization side of things. But I don't want to go too much into detail in that side of things. When you write a blog, there'll be two possible menus. So you can see here, intro, what you learn. This is the menu that appears on our home page. So if I go back to the home page, you'll see that there is this menu which is really designed for individuals who aren't necessarily interested, who aren't a member yet, to find out a bit more about the club. Because this is a blog article, our blog articles are mainly aimed at our own members rather than the outside world, although sometimes it's aimed at both, but mainly it's to our own members. We want a different menu to appear here, a menu which is more suited not to people who don't know anything about us, but people who know everything about us and they want to have access to one of our other resources that are online. So select as the menu, not custom menu suppress parent. I want to apologise for the naming convention, it's my fault. You just have to bear with it now. Make sure it's master, because when it's master, okay, and if I hit preview, you'll see what difference that makes. This is before, with that weird suppress parent thingy, and with master, you get this wonderful menu that provides lots and lots of links to pages that we've prepared for our existing members to get a better experience with the club. So information about being a member of the committee, about the previous educational program or meeting calendar, benefits for new members, how to run a speech contest. So make sure that in this section where it says custom menu, if you're writing a blog, the menu set for this post is master menu. The last thing, which I think is really important to mention, and it is really important, is the set featured image. So when you go to the blog, so let me go to the blog here, you'll see that there's a snippet of text which is accompanied on the left hand side with an image. That image is what's described as the featured image, and the image that appears is what you set here. So to find and set a featured image, click on set featured image. Find an image that's suitable. So just for argument's sake, I'll just pick this one here, set featured image, and that will now end up being will be this image here. The article title will be, let me just preview this so you can see a little bit more clearly. This is a new blog, will be here. The first few bits of text, this blah 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 stuff, that will be in this text body here. The person who wrote the article, well, here it says by SPA speakers. By default, all articles will be written by SPA speakers, and you can set that here where it says author, so you've got to scroll down a little bit. But actually, if there is a specific author that wants to be credited for a particular article, you'll see that there's a list of authors, and you can set the article to be signposted to being written by a particular person. And you can also do things like, show a like button and show sharing buttons too, which I recommend. Why not have people share your articles? Okay, so those are the basic beats. So let me go through those again. Let's go to all posts. So you click on, let me go back to the dashboard here. So when you get to this dashboard page here, you would go to all posts, and that will take you to this page, which gives you the full library of all your posts. You can see what's been written before. Click on add new, When you click Add New, you'll get this page here, and then what you'll do is add a title, add some text, add some images, set categories, set tags, and let me just give you an example. Contest. There you are. I've set a tag there, so you just type it in and press enter. Or what you also can do is click on choose from the most used tags, and it will give you a little bit of a library of previous tags that have been used. You can just click them, and they will then add those into our pool of tags associated with this blog. You would set the author, and you would ensure that you select the right menu, which would be master menu for blog articles. Once you've completed your article, you can preview it by clicking here, and it will show you what the article will look like to an end user. And you can see here, with the author being Spark Speakers, you get this wonderful author box. So it is materially important to make sure that you do set the author correctly, because that's the kind of thing that will appear. And then what you would then do is schedule the post. It's only very rare that you would just hit publish. And to set the schedule, click here where it says schedule, hit edit, set the time and the date, hit OK. And if you're happy with everything related to the post, you hit schedule, and then on the date that you've designated, the article will appear on our website, but it will also be emailed through MailChimp. So that's the system that we use, through MailChimp, to our newsletter subscribers' inboxes. So it's really important that you set the date and the time which you schedule the post to be sensible. Okay, so that is how you create a post. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, because I'm not going to publish this, is move this to bin. Rightio. So that's disappeared. Now if I want to edit an existing post, I can click here, edit. So this is an existing post that's already been, oh, those two are scheduled. Let's edit well, you can edit any post, whether it's scheduled or whether it's pre-published. So if I hit edit here, so this post is already published. You can see it was published on the 16th of April at 5:30. And I would go in and just edit the text. And once I've edited it, I would preview the changes. And I'll check that I'm happy with it. And once I'm happy, I would hit update. And what clicking update will do, it won't trigger another email into people's newsletter inboxes. It will simply update the content as it appears on the website. So it's really important that you get the article content right first time round, because once it sends, if there's any spelling errors or mistakes, then you can't revoke those emails from people's inboxes. So getting it right, really important as far as the newsletter email is concerned, but you've got a lot of leeway in terms of updating it on the website. You can update it to your heart's content if you make a mistake. Okay, so just because I'm on this particular website, you'll see here that there's a tag on this particular post and it says repost. This is highly significant. Any blog article that is tagged as repost is basically going to be sent out multiple times to our mailing base. So let's say, for example, there's an article that you want members to be reminded of on a regular basis. So let's say, for example, it's an article on good evaluation practices. So you don't want to send an article on good evaluation practices once. You want to send it multiple times to keep reinforcing and reiterating that message. And also, because we've always got this influx of new members, we want to make sure that those new members are given the opportunity to read some great advice that may have been posted in the past, sent to their inbox. When you hit repost, or if you tag an article as repost, another functionality within the WordPress website will identify that, and it will put it on a kind of on a calendar. And if we don't post regularly onto our blog with new articles, the system will say, "Oh right, you haven't posted for a long time, but we want to make sure that we keep posting stuff out. So if there's anything that's tagged as repost, we'll resend that out again." And so this is one of those that's tagged in that way. Not all articles should be tagged as repost. For example, one-off news articles that are based on a period of time, so somebody's just won a contest and we're congratulating them. Those are the kind of articles that you definitely don't want to repost because they're not relevant to post more than once. But some articles which are about specific advice about public speaking, those are definitely worth reposting multiple times. So those articles, I recommend that you tag them as repost when you write them. Okay, so that's probably enough about posting blog articles. There's a lot more that can be said. I mean, I'm struggling to kind of make this a short video, so I want to apologise for that. And the next thing I'm going to do is head back to the dashboard, and I'm going to talk about pages. So what's the difference between a page and a post? So let me kind of illustrate this point. This intro link takes you to a page. What you learn, it takes you to a page. You can see that the website is built around web pages. Makes sense. A blog post appears on the website in the following fashion: as a long list on a particular page, and mainly is composed of temporal, news feeds, updates, all those kinds of things. So if it's news, if it's things that are new and exciting and they're happening, then it's more likely to be a post. If it's something that's a permanent feature of you as an organization, then it probably needs to find its way into one of the existing pages, because if you have loads and loads of pages, the web design becomes completely mad, and you definitely don't want that. So you'll see that actually, if you go to this, if you go to the section which is aimed at potentially people who are interested, there's a limited number of pages. In fact, I would say that this is the absolute limit. You definitely don't want to add any more pages to this section, because there's probably just about the limit of what's a sensible number. It needs to be a really simple setup for individuals, otherwise it's just confusing. And to reinforce that point, if you look at this these WordPress stats here, you can see that the most popular pages are the ones that are aimed at our prospective members. This is our homepage, so this is the number of hits to our homepage we've had in the last month. And you can see the second most popular page is actually our Meet the Committee page, which is this one here, the team. And this has all the images and bios of the committee members that are serving currently. So this is really important, this page, to get right, because it's popular and people will look at this and they pay attention to it. Then the Get in Touch page is the next important page in terms of hits. And you can see 25% of the people who come to our home page go to the Get in Touch page. So that's a really good conversion rate, because it shows that people are kind of impressed by that home page, and they have been given enough information to be seriously interested in making an inquiry. And of lesser significance, but still very important, how much? The calendar, the members blog, who are we, and find us. So who are we is not about team, but it's about what Toastmasters International Organisation is about. Right. So I'm basically gonna make a point here that I don't think that you should be adding too many new pages, certainly to the part of the website that's aimed at new members. So this menu here are the pages aimed at new members. When it comes to pages that are aimed at existing members, and you'll see there's actually a ton of pages for them, blah, 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 blah. These are all pages. Again, I would say that we have got quite a few. So for the most part, you probably don't want to be adding too many new pages. And you're probably going to be doing more in terms of editing the existing pages to reflect the most recent, to make sure they're up to date. So how to add a new page? It's actually very similar to how you add a post. In fact, it's actually more straightforward and simple. So add a page, add a title, add some text and images in exactly the same fashion as before. Publish, but here you'll notice that there is no category and there's no tags. Okay, but there are these page attributes. You can leave them as default. I'm not going to talk too much about those. You set a default featured image as before, and here you want to leave this either as custom menu suppress parent if it's for the section aimed at prospective members, but if it's aimed at our existing members, you want to set this as master menu. Okay, so make sure you choose the menu that this that appears on this web page based on who the page is aimed at. These two can remain the same, and that's it. So there's much fewer features on pages compared to posts. Rightio. So I'm going to close that. And what I'm going to do now is go back to all pages. Show you how to edit. So in this list of pages, you would find the page that you realise there's some out of date information, or the picture has images of people who have left the club years ago and it's no longer current. Go to that page, just pick one at random, edit. I'm going to edit that, so click edit. And then I'll go ahead and just edit the text, preview the change, see if I'm happy with the changes, and if I am, then I hit update and it will update. Pages do not get posted to the newsletter to members' inboxes. It just updates on the website itself. Alrighty. So that is editing and adding pages. Okay, so probably what I should tell you now is that when you add a page, you need to do something specific in order for it to appear on this menu in the way that you intend. Because when you post a page, publish a new page, it won't appear on any menu automatically. You will have to specifically tell WordPress how you want it displayed. So I'll show you where to go in order to do that. So if you go to Appearance and go to Menus, and you'll see here, this is the menu structure for the master menu, which is the master menu is the one for members. And what you would do is find the article that you have just newly published, or you just want to change around. You would add it to the menu. So if I click Add to Menu, How to Win the Distinguished Award, you'll see that it will appear at the bottom of the list, and what you can do is just move it around and set it. If it's completely left justified, it will be on this top line here. If it's slightly inset as follows, it will appear as a sub menu as follows. Okay, so I'm going to delete that because we don't want that there. It's just showing that for purposes of illustration. But that's how you add menu items, and you can shuffle them around using this handy user interface. So it's pretty good. So that's how to update menus. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard here. Leave page. I'm not going to save anything. Okay. So I've shown you how to add pages, how to add blog posts, how to edit pages, how to edit blog posts, and how to make sure that you set the featured images, how to schedule posts, making sure the menu is correct, how to set the author for blog posts. One thing I think you need to know is that if you want to create a new author, so you know that author box that came at the bottom of a blog post, so if I click here, open up a blog post. This one was written by Rachel, not Sparse Speakers. So this menu, this author box, needs to be created. So if there is an existing author been created, you can just find them on the drop down menu. But if the person who is writing the article is writing it for the very first time, they won't be here. You'll have to create that entry for them so it can be selected in that drop down list. So how do you do that? You would go to a section called users as follows. So if I go to all users, just close these just to keep things simple, and you'll see a list of all the users here. What you'd firstly do is go to add user. I'll just right click, and what you'll do is create a username, a unique username. Add that user's email address. So you need to know what the email address of that user is and enter it here. It needs to be unique, and you can't use a dummy one. You have to use the email address for the person who is writing this article. First name, their last name. If they have a website, just add it here. You don't need to worry about showing password. And you want, if they are going to be somebody who's going to be contributing to the website, set them as a contributor. And then you would click add user. Okay. Once you add user, the user will be created and they will eventually appear on that drop down menu once you've added that user. But you notice that we haven't added a picture and we haven't added any bio data, so you haven't written a little biography as you saw in Rachel's biography. So when we go back to all users, that person that we've created will be there. So let me show you as an example. If I go to me, which is Jazz Kandula, I'm going to hit edit here. So that new user that we've created will appear on that list. You go to edit, as I've just done here. You scroll down. So all of this stuff at the top, you can just ignore. You don't need to change anything. Blah, 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 blah. This is the stuff that we added previously. Okay. And as I scroll down, you get to this thing which says Starbox settings for this author. So Starbox is a plugin, and a plugin, it's worth introducing what a plugin is now, is a added feature that has been installed onto the basic WordPress platform. So WordPress is like this basic bare bones platform upon which you can build a website. And the way in which you can add functionality and features to that bare bones system is to plug in various bits of functionalities and features. And Starbox is one of these plugins. It's been plugged in to create these author boxes. So what you can do is add a picture, a profile picture, and the way that you do it is that you hit browse, go onto your desktop computer and find the image that you want to use for that bio. And you can see there is this kind of ideal size, so you may want to do some formatting of that image before you upload it, otherwise you're going to get this distorted, stretched thing that's not going to look very good. So find an image of the person, scale it down to 80 by 80, and I would recommend using Canva for that, which is a online kind of image manipulation tool. It's really, really good. And then upload that. Leave these other settings down in default as before. This is a preview of what it looks like. And you can then add the job title. So here, the job title will appear just underneath the name. The company, Sparse Speakers, which will appear here. The link, the company URL, which will basically turn this company into a clickable link. And the biographical info. So this is the information that appears to describe who this person is. Enter all that stuff. If you want to, you can add a Twitter and a personal Facebook link, which could be quite handy. And you don't need to edit anything else after that. Just hit update user. And now you'll not only have created the user, but you'll also have an image, and you'll also have a biography and potentially social media links in that author box. And they will be available and selectable when you create a blog article. So you can make sure that the authorship is clearly signposted. Okay. Rightio. I think that's probably enough for this video. What I'll do in the next video is show you how to maintain the site and just give you a walkthrough of some of the automation features of the website. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that you are doing this role for the club. It's really important that we have a really professional, well-run website because it's absolutely crucial to the success of the club. So if you have any questions, ask the previous holder of this role, and they will hopefully have acquired all the skills and knowledge over their time doing that role to pass that knowledge on to you. That's enough from me. This is Jazz signing off. See you later.